My name is Kipp Normand, and the title of this exhibit is Fever Dream. I've been thinking about this show for a while, and all the work seemed a little bit amorphous and a little bit frantic, and I thought, well, can I come up with a title that conveys that idea? Fever Dream seemed to be a good fit for that, because it seems crazy, and that's the way my life has been. There's lots of two-dimensional stuff. From the encouragement of my good friend Kyle Ragsdale, I got back into making some shadow boxes, which are really fun, but they're twice as difficult as making the two-dimensional stuff. So sometimes I was taking a little break from the shadow boxes for a while. The two-dimensional work is interesting because I've been working with a new process that Kyle showed me how to do, which is a interesting like monotype printing process that incorporates collage elements into it. It's called chinocoller, which is a French term. Of course, collage is French as well, but it was scary and also really fun because I never knew what I was going to get. You'd run it through the press and pull it out and say, oh, okay, that's not what I was intending. But then it gives you the opportunity to go back and try to react to those accidents. If I were to single one of them out, that is a great favorite of mine. It's called Recipes Against Melancholy. It's a big collage that incorporates scraps of maps, things I've clipped from old National Geographic magazines, pages ripped from the Encyclopedia Britannica. I mean, who uses encyclopedias anymore? No one. Anyway, it's all sort of brought together by kind of a through line of landscape and architectural engravings from that I clipped from a pile of 19th century magazines that I've been collecting. The magazine was called Our Picturesque World, and it was full of engravings of places all around the world. So I like to take disparate images and kind of weave them together. So the horizon line from the mountains over Budapest will suddenly blend in with the desert near Tunisia, or it just kind of like goes. So it's all disconnected. And then surrounding all of this stuff is a bunch of different butterflies that are cut from 19th century prints. There's pins stuck through those butterflies, and little silken threads connect the butterflies together with the landscape and the weird stuff in the background. And so there it is. Recipes Against Melancholy is a title pulled from a writer in the mid-19th century that would send advice to a friend of his that suffered from melancholy, or that was their fancy word for depression at the time. And he would suggest things like, go for a walk, get some exercise, find a hobby. Insect collecting is fascinating. He would make all those kind of little, sometimes advice that is going to be familiar to anyone that suffers from depression, because there's always people that don't suffer from depression that will give you all kinds of wonderful little tidbits. You should take up running or bake bread, like things like that. And the whole pandemic experience that many people had, that people were taking up all kinds of little hobbies. And so in Recipes Against Melancholy, that was sort of my little comment on that. A lot of times I don't really know how I want the viewer to feel. A lot of people don't like the anatomical illustrations that I use all the time, but I love them, so they're there. Sorry if it makes you uncomfortable, too bad. What I want is for there to be a reward for anybody that takes the time to actually look carefully at my work. There's always going to be something there for you. Careful looker, because you're my person. I want it to be interesting, like at a glance, but also to reward the curious viewer. So if you take time and study it out, you can always find little tidbits in there. Sometimes they're humorous, sometimes it's just part of my cynical worldview, which can be hilarious, right? Okay.